In the haze of a pounding headache, Jordan Hale blinked against the harsh sunlight streaming through the half-drawn curtains of the upscale hotel room in downtown Chicago. His body felt heavy, tangled in crisp white sheets that were definitely not his own. As his vision cleared, the shock hit him like a freight train. Lying beside him, still asleep, was Ethan Caldwell, the very lawyer who had spent the last 6 months trying to dismantle his life in the courtroom. Jordan's heart hammered in his chest. How had this happened? The night before had been a blur of too many whiskeys at the downtown bar, a heated exchange that started with accusations and somehow ended with them leaving together. He sat up slowly, careful not to wake the man next to him, his mind racing through the events that led to this moment. The court case had been brutal. Ethan's firm represented Jordan's former business partner, who claimed Jordan had stolen ideas for his tech startup. Ethan had been relentless, painting Jordan as a ruthless opportunist in front of the judge and jury. Though the case settled out of court, the damage to Jordan's reputation and finances was significant. And now here they were in the same bed. Ethan stirred, his eyes fluttering open. For a moment confusion clouded his sharp features, then recognition dawned. Hale? What the hell? He muttered, sitting up abruptly, the sheet falling to his waist, revealing his toned torso. The air in the room grew thick with tension. This is a mistake, Jordan said, his voice hoarse. A huge drunk mistake. Ethan ran a hand through his disheveled hair, a rare crack in his usually composed demeanor. You no kidding. But last night you weren't exactly complaining when we were arguing about the case, and then. Jordan cut him off, standing up and grabbing his clothes from the floor. Don't. Just don't. I was drunk. You were drunk. End of story. But even as he said it, he felt a pull, an undeniable spark that had simmered beneath the hostility during those long court days. Ethan's intensity in the courtroom, the way he challenged every point with precision and fire, had been infuriating but also strangely magnetic. Jordan had told himself it was just adrenaline from the fight. Now, in the sober light of morning, he wasn't so sure. He dressed quickly, avoiding Ethan's gaze. The lawyer watched him silently, then spoke again, his tone softer than expected. Look, Jordan, I didn't expect this either. But maybe we should talk about it. Not here, not now, but sometime. Jordan laughed, bitterly buttoning his shirt. Talk? You spent weeks trying to ruin me in front of a judge, calling me unethical and greedy. And now you want to talk? This never happened, Caldwell. Forget it. He grabbed his wallet and phone, heading for the door. As he stepped into the hallway, the click of the door behind him felt final, but his mind was already replaying fragments of the night, the way Ethan's hand had felt on his arm during their argument at the bar, the unexpected laugh when Jordan made a sarcastic joke about lawyers, the heat that built until they were in a cab heading to the hotel. Back in his own apartment in Lincoln Park, Jordan paced the living room, trying to shake the memory. His phone buzzed with a text from his sister Emily. Mom and Dad are asking about the settlement again. They want you to come home this weekend and talk about the future. You know how they are. The message hit like another blow. His family in suburban Illinois was traditional, conservative, and deeply invested in appearances. They had supported his startup, but with conditions always hinting that success meant settling down with a nice girl, starting a family carrying on the Hale name. Being gay was something Jordan had kept hidden, fearing it would shatter their pride in him, especially after the public scrutiny of the lawsuit. He sank onto the couch, head in hands. The case had already strained things. His parents had seen the news coverage, the accusations, and though they stood by him publicly, he knew they worried about the family business reputation. Now this one-night mistake with the enemy threatened to unravel everything he had built. Yet as he closed his eyes, he could still feel the ghost of Ethan's touch, the way their argument had shifted from anger to something raw and vulnerable. It scared him how right it had felt in the moment. Hours later, Jordan tried to focus on work emails from his small tech team, but his thoughts kept drifting. He wondered what Ethan was doing right now. Was the lawyer regretting it too, or was he already back to his polished professional self? The question gnawed at him. By evening, Jordan found himself at the same bar, nursing a soda, this time determined to avoid alcohol. He told himself it was coincidence, but deep down he knew he was hoping for another glimpse of the man who had upended his world twice now, once in court and once in bed. The door opened and there he was, Ethan in a crisp button-down, looking every bit the successful attorney. Their eyes met across the room and neither looked away. Jordan's pulse quickened. This was dangerous territory, but walking away felt impossible. Ethan approached the bar, his expression guarded, but his eyes held a flicker of the same confusion Jordan felt. "Didn't expect to see you here again," he said, sliding onto the stool next to Jordan. "Thought you'd be avoiding this place like the plague after last night." Jordan kept his gaze on his glass. "I could say the same. What are you doing here, Caldwell? Celebrating another victory?" Ethan sighed, ordering a water. "It wasn't a victory for me personally, Jordan. The case was business. I do my job, but I saw how hard it hit you. And last night, that wasn't business." They sat in silence for a while, the bar's ambient noise filling the space between them. Jordan finally turned to face him. "You tore me apart on the stand. You made it personal, calling into question my integrity, my vision for the company. How am I supposed to just forget that? Because maybe there's more to both of us than the roles we played in that courtroom." Ethan replied, his voice low and earnest. "I read the filings. I know your side had merit too. But my client pushed hard and I fought for them. Doesn't mean I enjoyed destroying you." The honesty in Ethan's words caught Jordan off guard. Over the next hour they talked not as opponents but as two men navigating the wreckage. Ethan shared that he had come out years ago, but his high-stakes career left little room for real connection. His last relationship had ended because his partner couldn't handle the long hours and the emotional walls Ethan built to survive in the legal world. Jordan opened up about his family's expectations, the pressure to hide who he was to protect their image. By the time they left the bar, it was late, but neither wanted the conversation to end. They walked along the Chicago River, the city lights reflecting on the water. "This is crazy," Jordan said, stopping under a street lamp. "We shouldn't even be speaking." Ethan stepped closer, his presence magnetic. "Yet here we are. Tell me you don't feel it too, the pull from last night. Not just the alcohol." Jordan's breath caught. He did feel it, a connection that went beyond the physical, a shared understanding of ambition, loneliness, and the weight of expectations. But admitting it meant risking everything. "I can't do this, Ethan. My family, my work, the fallout from the case, it's too much." They parted with a handshake that lingered too long. Back home, Jordan lay awake, replaying every word. The next morning, a call from his mother brought the real world crashing back. "Jordan, honey, we heard the settlement details from your cousin. It sounds rough, but you need to move forward. Have you thought about dating again? There's a nice girl from church whose family owns a chain of stores. It could be good for you and the business." The words stung. Jordan mumbled a non-committal response, but inside the conflict raged. How could he pursue anything real with Ethan when his own family viewed his truth as a threat? Still, he found himself checking his phone, hoping for a message from the lawyer. Days passed in a blur of meetings and damage control at work. Jordan's team was loyal, but the lawsuit had cost them clients. One afternoon, while grabbing coffee near the courthouse, he literally ran into Ethan, who was leaving a hearing. Coffee spilled, and they both laughed awkwardly, the tension from the hotel room returning full force. "Sorry about that," Ethan said, handing Jordan napkins. "Fate seems to have a sense of humor." They ended up sitting at a small table outside the cafe talking for over an hour. Ethan admitted he had been thinking about Jordan, constantly questioning his own choices in the case. Jordan confessed the attraction scared him because it challenged everything he thought he knew about right and wrong. "You were the enemy," he said. "How can I feel this way?" "Maybe the enemy was never who we thought," Ethan replied, his hand brushing Jordan's briefly under the table. The touch sent electricity through Jordan. They agreed to meet again in secret, a quiet dinner at Ethan's apartment the following weekend. As Jordan walked away, he felt the first stirrings of hope mixed with dread. This choice could heal him or destroy him completely. His sister's next text reminded him of the family barbecue that weekend. "Don't forget to bring a date or at least smile for the pictures. Dad's been stressed about the company image." The pressure mounted. Jordan knew he was playing with fire, but the flame with Ethan burned brighter than the fear. The secret dinner at Ethan's sleek apartment overlooking Lake Michigan marked a turning point. They cooked pasta together, the domesticity feeling both strange and natural. Conversation flowed easily from light topics to deeper ones. Ethan spoke about his strict upbringing in a legal family where vulnerability was weakness. Jordan shared stories of hiding his identity during college, the fear of disappointing his parents who had sacrificed so much for his education. As the evening wore on, they sat on the couch, wine glasses in hand. "I never thought I'd be here with you," Jordan admitted. "After everything in court, I wanted to hate you." Ethan set his glass down, his eyes intense. "I never wanted to hate you either. Fighting you in court was the job, but seeing the real you now, the man who cares so deeply about his team and his ideas, it changes things. I respect you, Jordan. More than respect." Their first kiss was tentative, then urgent, a release of all the pent-up tension. It was not rushed but filled with the weight of their shared history. They spent the night talking and holding each other, the intimacy emotional rather than physical in the explicit sense. Jordan felt seen in a way he never had before. For the first time, the idea of a future with someone who understood the pressures of ambition and identity seemed possible. But reality intruded quickly. The following week, Jordan attended the family barbecue in the suburbs. His parents hugged him tightly, asking pointed questions about his dating life. "You're not getting any younger, son," his father said. "A stable relationship looks good to investors too." His sister pulled him aside later, whispering, "I know something's going on with you. You seem different, happier but distracted. Is there someone?" Jordan denied it, but the lie tasted bitter. That night he met Ethan again, this time at a quiet park. They walked hand in hand in the shadows, talking about the moral dilemma. "Am I betraying my principles by being with the man who attacked my character?" Jordan asked. "Or am I finally choosing myself?" Ethan squeezed his hand. "We both made choices in that courtroom. The question is what we choose now. I am willing to fight for this if you are." Their relationship deepened over the next week's stolen moments and late-night calls. Jordan began to question the social prejudices he had internalized, the fear of being seen as less than because of who he loved. Ethan opened up about past heartbreaks, showing a vulnerable side few saw. The drama built as Jordan's work suffered from his divided attention and family suspicions grew. One evening, after a particularly tense family dinner, where his mother suggested a setup with a female colleague, Jordan drove straight to Ethan's. "I can't keep hiding," he said, collapsing into his arms. "But coming out now after the lawsuit could ruin what is left of my reputation." Ethan held him. "We will figure it out together. But you have to decide what price you are willing to pay for your truth." The internal conflict raged in Jordan. Love was pulling him forward, but family and society pushed back hard. The stakes rose when a work colleague noticed Jordan's distraction and started asking questions. The betrayal came from the least expected place. Jordan's best friend and business partner Marcus had been his rock during the lawsuit. They had built the startup together. But Marcus had always been more conservative, and when he accidentally saw a text from Ethan on Jordan's phone during a late meeting, everything changed. "You are seeing the lawyer who tried to bury us?" Marcus confronted him in the office after hours, his face red with anger. "After everything he put us through? This is a betrayal, Jordan. The team looks up to you. If this gets out, investors will run." Jordan tried to explain the connection, the growth he felt, but Marcus was unmoved. "Your family will never accept this. And neither will I if it risks the company." The next day, Marcus called Jordan's sister under the guise of concern, leaking just enough to spark family alarm bells. The confrontation at the family home was explosive. His father slammed the table. "We stood by you through that lawsuit, and this is how you repay us? With this choice? It is not right, Jordan. Think of the family name, the business." His mother cried, saying she always suspected but hoped he would choose the right path. His sister, who had suspected, now felt betrayed for being kept in the dark. Jordan left the house shattered, driving aimlessly before ending up at Ethan's door. "They know," he said, tears in his eyes. "And it is tearing me apart. Was I wrong to pursue this? Ethan pulled him inside, listening without judgment. But even he faced fallout. A colleague at the firm caught wind of the rumors through legal circles and warned Ethan that associating with a former adversary could damage his rising star status. "People will say you went soft, Caldwell. Or worse, that there was something unethical during the case." The couple faced external pressure from all sides. Jordan's company lost a key client after Marcus subtly spread doubts. Family calls became accusatory. Yet, in the quiet moments with Ethan, Jordan found strength. They talked through the moral questions. Was their love worth the pain inflicted on others? Had Jordan traded his family's trust for personal happiness? A major argument erupted when Ethan suggested slowing down to protect their careers. "I cannot lose you now," Jordan said, voice breaking. "But I also cannot lose myself." The betrayal from Marcus cut deep, forcing Jordan to reevaluate loyalties and what true support meant. As tensions peaked, Jordan received a letter from his parents urging him to attend family counseling to fix things. The choice loomed larger than ever, weighing love against duty. The climax arrived at a public industry gala where both Jordan and Ethan were invited. Jordan had planned to attend alone to maintain appearances, but Ethan showed up determined to stand by him. The evening started civilly, but when Marcus spotted them talking in a corner, he made a scene, pulling Jordan aside. "This ends now," Marcus hissed. "I told your family everything. They are here tonight too. Choose, Jordan. Us or him." Jordan's parents appeared moments later, his father's face stern. "Son, we love you, but this lifestyle is not what we raised you for. Walk away from him now and we can move past this." The room seemed to close in. Ethan stepped forward calmly but firmly. "Mr. Hale, your son is an incredible man. The case was business, but what we have is real. I respect your concerns, but I will not let him face this alone." The confrontation escalated with raised voices and judgmental stares from other guests. Jordan felt the full weight of societal prejudice, the whispers about his choices, and the professional risks. In a moment of raw honesty, he turned to his family. "I have spent years hiding to make you proud, but I cannot do it anymore. I love Ethan. If that means losing your approval or parts of the business, so be it. I have to live my truth." His mother sobbed. His father walked away in disappointment. Marcus shook his head and left. The betrayal and loss hit Jordan hard, but Ethan's steady presence grounded him. They left the gala together, the night air cool against their skin. Later, at Ethan's apartment, the emotional toll surfaced. Jordan questioned everything. "Did I do the right thing? I hurt the people who raised me. Was my love for you worth this pain?" Ethan held him through the tears. "Only you can answer that. But I know the man I have come to love is brave for choosing authenticity. We both paid prices. My career slowed, my family distant too, but we gained each other." The awakening began in the following days as Jordan rebuilt with a smaller but more loyal team, and Ethan advocated for him in professional circles. The trauma of the family rift lingered, but so did the growth. They faced more challenges, including a minor legal repercussion from the old case resurfacing, but together they navigated it. Months later, Jordan and Ethan stood on the balcony of their new shared apartment, watching the Chicago skyline. The relationship had strengthened through the trials. Jordan had reconciled partially with his sister, who was trying to bridge the gap with their parents, though full acceptance remained distant. The company stabilized as Jordan focused on ethical innovation, free from the weight of secrets. Ethan had taken a step back from the most cutthroat cases, choosing work that aligned with his values. The moral dilemmas they once debated now felt resolved in their daily choices to support each other openly. Jordan turned to Ethan, smiling softly. "I never imagined waking up next to you that morning would lead here. Through all the confrontations, the betrayals, and the sacrifices, I found something real." Ethan kissed his forehead. "We both did. The price was high, but the reward is this life we are building." As they reflected on the journey, the internal conflicts, the family pressures, the social prejudices, and the controversial decisions, Jordan realized the awakening was complete. He had chosen love not as an escape but as a path to his true self, despite the costs paid by everyone involved. In the end, was following his heart the right choice for Jordan, or did he betray his family principles and professional integrity by falling for the man who once tried to ruin him?